Next on Worcester News Tonight, firefighters battle more than just a fire in Webster. And 3 Worcester students are honored for their hard work in the classroom. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tim McCone. We begin tonight in Webster, where firefighters were dealing with more than just a fire. Crews were called a little after 3 this afternoon to a house fire on Upper Gore Road. The homeowners were not home at the time. Firefighters were battling the 3-alarm fire in the basement and on the first floor when ammunition inside the house went off. Luckily, there were no injuries, but the ammunition made fighting the fire difficult.
Move all the people out of the building, let it settle down. We went back in, cooled it back down, and started doing our overhaul again. So it was, there's a lot of material inside the building. There's a lot of stuff in here. The owner has a lot of property inside the building. So it was a little tough working around inside of it.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Former Uxbridge Fire Chief Peter Ostrowski is named the next state fire marshal. Ostrowski was selected by Massachusetts Fire Service Commission Wednesday to succeed Stephen Cohn, who announced his retirement in December. Ostrowski has 30 years of experience in fire service, and he says his time in Uxbridge has helped to prepare him for his new role.
For my whole career as a firefighter, I was a customer of the Department of Fire Services, so I really had a customer perspective of what the department does and so forth. But I also had the opportunity to do a number of jobs. I was in fire prevention, I was on the front lines as a firefighter, and I was also, having served as fire chief, I saw a lot of aspects of the position from that perspective.
Ostrowski is currently the deputy fire marshal. He is also the former deputy director of the state's 911 department. Police in Millville are asking for help tracking down a man suspected in an armed robbery. This is Keith Darrelou. Police say he's one of 3 men who broke into a house on Main Street armed with handguns and stole cash. Darrelou may be with 2 other men who are persons of interest in the case. All should be considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, please call the Millville Police Department. Protecting your identity online, it's something everyone may not pay attention to every time they log on. Today is Data Privacy Day, and many are using it to bring awareness to protecting personal and financial information. Our Olivia Lemon spoke with experts and found out some tips on how to stay safe on the internet.
We all know that there's a lot of problems that need to be solved in cybersecurity right now.
More than 46,000. Dr. Suzanne Mello-Stark says it's the number of cybersecurity job openings in the U.S. government. The WPI computer science professor says the need is greater than ever for people to help solve security hacks. Every day we hear of a new hack. So who is going to figure out what's happening here with these hacks and plug the holes? WPI is one of 63 schools in the U.S. who participate in the Cyber Corp Scholarship for Service program. Students come here for their education and they study cybersecurity. For every year they're here, they work for the government when they graduate for a year. On Data Privacy Day, Mello-Stark is reminding everyone of ways to stay safe on the internet to prevent being hacked. There's always security updates, and we should not ignore those. We should always update whatever applications that we have on our smartphones as well as on our computers to make sure that we get the latest security updates.
If you're using public Wi-Fi, you may not want to do your personal banking. Using that Wi-Fi connection, you'd want to use a secure connection, from your home, so you know that there's less chance for that connection to be hacked. Over at the Better Business Bureau, Operations Manager Joanna Toomey says it's also important for businesses to be aware of the consumer information they are collecting. The more information they have, and the longer they keep it, there's a bigger risk for a breach and for that information to be released. So we recommend that if they don't need it, they get rid of it. Toomey says everyone should make passwords strong and unique and remember to secure their devices and accounts. You want to be careful with the information you share. Some of that stuff is public. You want to review your privacy settings. Today's a good day to do it. Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
We've learned the man who was struck and killed by a train earlier this week has been in trouble with the law before. Court records show Hector Ramos was charged with trespassing twice on the tracks back in 2013. Ramos was found dead Sunday night under the Lincoln Street overpass. Police are still investigating the incident and have called his death suspicious. Jury selection got underway today in the trial of a Spencer man charged with murdering his wife's twin sister. Prosecutors say 24-year-old Stephen West suffocated 20-year-old Alyssa Hayden and raped her in October of 2012. Lawyers for West allege the two had consensual sex and her death was an accident. West has pleaded not guilty to the murder charge. 3 students at Worcester's Abby Kelley Charter School are rewarded for their hard work in the classroom. The group has earned scholarships that will help pay for their college education. Our Patricia Nicholas has a look at what this means for the students and the school.
Chris and Richard are seniors at Abby Kelley Foster Charter Public High School. They are looking forward to college, and thanks to their hard work, they are going tuition-free for all 4 years.
This was an opportunity for me to show off, not really show off, but like excel and see how far I can get with this, and I was able to be one of the fortunate ones to get this.
Chris and Richard are 2 of the 3 Abby Kelley students awarded the Posse Scholarship. They were nominated by their guidance counselor based on their leadership, and they went through a rigorous process, competing with students from all across the state.
I couldn't believe it, but yeah, and I went home, told my parents, they were ecstatic. I know, I was just blessed. I'm so grateful.
I didn't go with the mentality that I have to impress them, I did me, I had fun. And I feel like that's what got me through, you know, being myself and them seeing the real me. That's what got me through the whole entire process.
Abby Kelley has been around for 16 years. They educate around 317 students with a focus on math and the arts. The principal says they have had 6 students awarded the scholarship throughout their existence.
These kids got this scholarship. They're going to be leaders, and you're going to hear about these kids down the road. And every time they've picked somebody, I couldn't be more proud.
Chris and Richard have been involved in extracurricular activities for majority of their high school career. They credit their involvement for their success. The school says the students serve as an example for the rest of the school.
It's a long process, but like all my principals and teachers have been telling me, it's worth it at the end.
Find something you're passionate about and do that, because whatever you want to do, you can excel in it.
Patricia Nicholas, Worcester News Tonight.
It's a statewide campaign aimed at taking hold of mental illness in the workplace, and one company CEO in Worcester is joining the fight. Barbara Wilson with Family Continuity has joined CEOs Against Stigma, a campaign created by the National Alliance on Mental Illness Massachusetts chapter. NAMI looks to promote a stigma-free work environment for those who deal with mental illness. Wilson says removing stigma is essential to trying to take care of the problem.
Shame and that guilt, and it just compounds the problem. It doesn't help. So I think we as service providers have to be purveyors of hope. Pretty prevalent.
Family Continuity is a nonprofit mental health and social services agency that serves eastern and central Massachusetts. It may be the middle of winter, but at the Worcester Art Museum, they're helping and thinking spring this week. They're kicking off the 13th annual Flora in Winter. It's a once-a-year celebration of all things floral. Worcester News Tonight's Brittany Schaefer has more on this unique event.
Today marks the first day of the Flora in the Winter art exhibit here at the Worcester Art Museum. As you can see, there are floral arrangements that are exhibiting and interpreting the artwork here.
These are arrangements that have been created by some of the area's most skilled and experienced designers.
Flora in the Winter is the museum's largest annual event. Marketing manager Julianne Frost expects more than 6,000 people over the next 4 days. The museum says the timing of the event draws in more visitors.
This is a perfect escape from winter. It's warm in here, there are beautiful flowers, it smells beautiful.
It's so boring and dead outside. The grass is brown, and luckily this year we don't have too much snow, but that just makes the grass look browner. So it's really nice to see the flowers. It really brightens up your whole mood.
WHAM has 24 arrangements and thousands of flowers on display.
One of my favorites this year is an interpretation of a painting called The Shipwreck. It is actually in a boat-shaped vessel, and it is amazing.
Hundreds visited Thursday, including Sarah Gurton and her mom.
I think it's really inspiring because I really want to grow up and be an artist.
I think what I'm so impressed with is the interpretation of the paintings and sculpture. Each arrangement invites you to keep looking into the painting to try to find out where did that color come from, where did that shape come from.
Catherine Tracy has a background in fine art and design and also runs a plant nursery.
What you're seeing in a lot of these arrangements are exotics like orchids that have to be bought from a much more warmer part of the world.
And it's the warmth Wham says many are looking for at this time of year. Brittany Schaefer,